of the heavy lifting in this course is in the first 8 to 10 weeks so that the remainder of the semester you can just focus mostly on your writing, workshopping, and final project. As I mentioned in my email to you all, this is a new course I designed specifically for this semester. From the time I pitched this course to the department to the time I wrote the last word of the syllabus, things are subject to change any minute, as the author of TV Outside the Box, Neil Landau, often reminds us. You are gaining valuable information in this course if you are serious about a career in the entertainment industry as writer, producer, director, or production person. Knowledge is often power and can help you navigate your career. Soak up this information like a sponge. Do not look to a model that is working because, as you will soon discover in the digital space, innovation is key, and when the tide changes because someone created something new, gone will be what it was a hit yesterday. So you want to think like an innovator. You want to learn how and where to take risks. You want to learn to be a game changer, and so really study what you are given in this course. Do not try to copy. Here's a chance to find some freedom in your creativity while still following the guidelines of Regent University when it comes to storytelling. As Christians, discover ways to get viewers to join a conversation about faith so they do not feel preached at. Create characters to whom your audience can relate, characters that are human and in need of transformation. The spiritual realm is often accepted in fantasy and sci-fi genres, so consider your arena and how much you can play with it in the digital space. This is an exciting time for Christians to join all the content creators and try new, exciting ways to tell stories. From my research, I hardly see any Christians and faith-based production companies or family-friendly OTTs competing with the game changers, and we need to change that immediately. With 12 of you in this course, let's trailblaze in the digital revolution. My experience in the digital space began with a series you will learn about in this course, Prom Queen. I had no idea then what a revolutionary project I was working on. My role was in production. I assisted the producer, I managed payroll for the actors and crew, and I coordinated the background talent and extras. I was a major part of scheduling the shoot. I was at every shoot and every location. I saw firsthand the scripts and what went into production. Having worked on short films and having been on television shoots or tapings, the production of Prom Queen felt very much like a movie and TV taping. The emphasis on a strong story and compelling characters was priority, and I was hooked by the mystery and storyline just as audiences were. Facebook wasn't even a thing then. It was MySpace, but it was the beginning of social media. The characters created their own MySpace pages, and I guess you could say the actors created these, but really the producers did that and the actors managed as their characters. Video blogging was what they were doing and in character, and it became such a personal experience for viewers. Much like when you invest in a television series, you begin to feel like you know the characters. And the next web series I was asked to help produce was Quitters. The daughter of a huge celebrity and one of her friends wrote the script. Her celebrity producer father invested in the project. The creators worked as writers, assistants for Mindy Kaling on The Office. We shot all around Los Angeles. We had hoped it would take off as a television series with all of the connections we had, but it never did. There's no promise of success, but what is exciting about the digital space is the end result. You actually get to see your produced project. You create a TV show, you're lucky if a network or digital giant orders it to series. You write a feature film, you're lucky if in your lifetime you'll sell it, have it financed and produced. Harder yet is to get it distributed. But digital made that easier. I have friends whose first movie I produced and we premiered on HBO and it streamed on Netflix. The second movie was a bomb, and they didn't take my story notes. And the distribution they got was Lifetime. For some, that's cool, but for others, that's the kiss of death. With that same team, I helped them develop a web series, and their other one was a jury selection for the Austin Film Festival. During the process with them, my assistant and I came up with our own concept for a digital series, and it gained a lot of interest. We had the opportunity to pitch it to some multi-channel networks, MCNs, like Style Hall and Awesomeness TV, and a digital magazine like Refinery29. Hulu caught wind of the project and invited us to pitch it. We attracted a major talent agency, Gersh, who also pitched our project. We were semifinalists for Austin Film Festival. And even though as creators we were gaining a lot of traction, unfortunately our audience was too young and everyone wanted us to age it up. But we were determined not to, and so we never sold it. We wanted to produce it ourselves, but I had my second child and, well, everything in my life was put on hold. But the point I'm trying to make is I immersed myself in the digital space. It fascinated me. An executive and screenwriter I worked with at Paramount was part of the brains behind another digital sensation that you will read about, one that is extremely successful on Hulu, East Los High. He hired me as a consultant to do market research for the development of a new digital series, Anne of Green Gables, which is on Netflix now. I worked with a young writer who wrote the SpongeBob musical for Broadway and was also writing for Ron Howard and Brian Grazer's digital studio, Newform, which you also will read about this week. I pushed my husband to leave reality TV, and thanks to a producer I collaborated with on a feature, my husband was hired at a digital studio, Uproxx, and started writing, producing digital short form that was considered more to be unscripted. As you can see, I gained a lot of experience and knowledge of the digital space, but there's so much more to learn. Studying the algorithms has never been my thing. And if the Brian Grazers, Ron Howards, Jeffrey Katzenbergs of this world have not figured it out, that tells you there is more to be learned and discovered. Honestly, short form digital does really well in the comedy space, like Funny or Die and Comedy Central. Long form is more like television, and while there is need for more content with all of the streaming platforms, it is far more competitive and still gives writers like you all hopes of breaking in. 10 years ago, there was less competition in web series. Now you have to really have an idea and content that stands out. Once you could produce something for $100, but certain episodes for the digital space now run a budget of $10,000 to $20,000 per minute. That is why episodes run 3 minutes or shorter for a short form series. I'll stop here before I overwhelm you, if you're not overwhelmed already. Don't